to read the whole thing?
No.
Or maybe in a book? No. Some people say yes, they have. Well, sometimes if I see a question at the beginning of a news article, it makes me want to read it. Like, Emma, I know you really like softball. What if you picked up a magazine, Emma, and the first question that you saw said, do you want to learn how to be the best softball player ever? She would be interested because it would grab her attention. Megan, if you picked up something that said, do you want to learn how to be the best ballerina or the best dancer ever? It'd probably grab your attention. So sometimes news articles have a headline, like a title, or a short introduction, or sometimes a question that will grab your attention and make you want to read it. Okay? Look at the next bullet. It answers the 5 W's and how. What are your 5 W's?
Wow.
Would, who, what, when, where, why. Hold up 5 fingers and say those with me. Who, what, when, where, why. That's what it's going to tell you, those 5 things. And how. How did it happen? And look at your 3rd bullet. It describes a current event and includes important information about the event. And they're not going to put, if they're telling me about the famous softball player, they may not tell me what that famous softball player is wearing because that's not important, right? So they're only looking for the important things. So look at Baby Finds New Home by Jess Salvatore. This is an article or a story about a baby finding a new home. Put your finger at the top of your story and follow along as I read. Finger or pencil at the top. Follow along, please. Diego Salvatore didn't know what it was at first. You know what? If I read that, didn't know what it was at first, that would kind of get my attention and be like, what is he talking about? It was small and pink. It was lying at the bottom of the tree in his backyard. It looked like it needed his help. Saturday surprise. This is a headline, a title that's telling you more information. Saturday surprise. Diego found the baby animal on Saturday morning. That's one of your W's. When? He wrapped it carefully in an old towel, Joel, and he placed it in a shoebox. He talked to other kids on his street, but none of them knew what it was. I thought it was a puppy, Diego's friend Brandon said. They decided to show it to Mrs. Singh. Mrs. Singh lives next door to Diego. She loves animals. She has many birds, fish, and a tank of hermit crabs. Mystery solved. Mrs. Singh told them the animal was a baby squirrel. She called the Wildlife Center. The center said they would care for the squirrel. We rescue many baby squirrels each spring, said Alice, who works at the center. They often fall out of their nest. After lunch, Mrs. Singh and Diego drove to the center. They left the baby squirrel with Alice. They also made a donation to the center. Their donation will help the center rescue more young and wounded animals. Kyle, there's that word, wound, from this morning when we said a bruise and a wound were synonyms. A wounded animal. It means it's hurt, right? Okay, look at number 1. What is the action verb in the headline? What parts of the introduction grab your attention? What is the action verb in your headline? Your headline is like your title, Baby Finds New Home. What's the verb, the action? Raise your hand if you can tell me. Blaine? Finds. So we're going to write finds is our action verb. Finds. So that grabbed my attention. That first sentence grabbed my attention. And then if we keep going, it tells us even more. It says it looked like it needed his help. So I want to find out, what is that, baby? And why does it need help? So let's copy those two sentences. After finds, just put a dash and let's copy those two sentences that I underlined. You can just put Diego. You don't have to put his last name. Diego didn't know what it was at first. Then I'm going to write that next thing that we underlined because that got my attention. It looked
On the same line.
like, it's all for number one, Brant. It needed his help. That grabbed attention. expert? Who is the expert in the story?